travelling from Saint-Étienne in the south of France in a northwesterly direction towards Tours. And speaking of tours, just wanted to talk a little about motorcycle touring. The first thing I'll say about the heading is the biggest problem I have with motorcycle touring is that I can't get enough of it. I love it. It's a great way to travel, as we all know. But I've travelled a fair bit on the motorcycle, and I have encountered, from the first time I ever did a trip, packing way too much stuff. I could have done away with about a third of what I needed, and I have done now, and I've refined it all down to the bare essentials. But the two problems I have still is the electrical equipment. I have to bring all my, especially if I'm taping, all the camera chargers and adapters for same, because in Europe all the countries don't use the same adapters, so I have to bring a whole range of adapters for the different countries, plus all the chargers and my computer, stuff that I want to offload off the camera onto a hard drive. It's a bit cumbersome. Now, I've even done well in that since the first time I went. I've condensed it all down into a fairly tiny bag, but I could still do with losing a couple of the chargers, which I think I might manage yet, but we'll see. So that isn't my biggest problem really, although if I could reduce the amount of electronics that I bring, that would be a big help. The biggest problem I had on this trip was my clothing, my rain gear, etc. I've brought two sets of rain gear, a light set that I normally throw over the Kevlar pants that I wear, and also if it's a really bad day I can put on my proper wet pants, the heavier duty pants. Again, if I could reduce that down, which I have a plan to do, I will. I think I'll be getting rid of the heavier duty one for the long trips, certainly when I'm away. But the biggest problem I had this time around was the jacket. This jacket I'm wearing here, which is a new jacket I got a couple of months before I came away, which is ideal for Irish weather, where we don't get the great heat, and we really don't have a whole lot of problems with having to ventilate and things like this. Generally we're just trying to keep the rain out, so this coat is ideal for that. I brought it along because I didn't know what sort of weather I had on the Alps. I was lucky I did have it a few times, especially the day that it rained so heavy in Andermatt, but it's too heavy for this kind of journey. I've taken the lining out of it and everything, but it's still just too warm. So I'll have to rethink this. I've been taking it off. I've been riding around in a t-shirt, which is great for freedom, but if you go down you're in big trouble. Even if you were to have a minor slip or fall, you'd be in big trouble with road rash because you have nothing to protect you. I'm a big fan of ACGAT for most of the time, not all the time, but I would have preferred if I could have had a jacket that I could have wore that would have kept me cool without feeling I'm sitting in an oven. There were actually, on one of the days, I think it was 35 degrees. I was going through a lot of the towns, and I was finding it so hard to keep hydrated, even though I'd stopped regularly and drank water. I was sweating so much that I couldn't keep hydrated, and I did stop, and at one stage, and I actually felt weak getting off the bike I was at, so it came down to, is it safer to ride without the jacket on or with the jacket on, and I took it off. So I'm going to have to figure out how to compromise those two situations. I think a mesh jacket would be great, and maybe some sort of light rain gear that goes over it, or maybe some of my viewers from warmer climates who come across this kind of thing in the odd time where it's raining, that if you could have a mesh jacket that has some sort of outer coat that goes over it if it's raining. If not, I just literally get a mesh jacket, I think, and put a windbreaker over it just to keep the heavy rain off. But really, if I'm doing touring in this sort of area where I'm coming to sunnier climates anyway, this jacket will just be too warm. So maybe some of you people living in the States particularly, or maybe in the south of France, could give me some indication about a good mesh jacket that's good for protecting against the rain as well, and maybe even a little bit cold, because it was cold up in the Alps some of the times, particularly when it was raining at the altitudes we were at. But I mean, I can bring an under jacket for that if I have to, but really I just want to stay cool and dry if it's raining. So I'm just enjoying the countryside here. I have nowhere to go today. I just have to get to the hotel in Tours. I'm just making my way across country up through France to Tours where I stay tonight, and then from Tours I head to Roscoff in the northwest of France to get the ferry back to Cork on Friday evening. So I'm not going the motorway, I'm just riding around France, enjoying the view. Again, it's 270 miles today, but it's easy miles. It's not like I did some miles a couple of days ago on the way down to Monaco. I did over 450 miles. But what type of miles you're doing is the big thing, because if you're doing this sort of miles, you can manage it no problem, just take plenty of breaks. But if you're doing the miles that I was doing, some of them anyway, was up mountain passes to twisty, windy roads with hairpins or switchbacks as they call them in the States. You just can't make time, and you also just can't make progress. It's very slow, high concentration levels are needed, and it's just hard work. Well, it's not hard work, it was very, very enjoyable. But if you have 450 miles to go, then time constraints are definitely on you at that stage. It took me until 10:30 at night to get into the hotel that day, and I left early. Now I had plenty of breaks and things like that, I spaced it out well, but I would have preferred to got to the hotel a lot earlier. But in any case, I'm enjoying today, just taking my time, enjoying the ride through France. So I hope you join me. I'll have one more vlog tomorrow to let you know that I'm getting on the boat, see the last of me in France, and I'll talk to you then.